Part of the Murphy, Sam, and Jody family, B98 in Wichita. Thank you so much. I mean, because, in case you don't know, and you're regulars to the podcast, the show is also on 50-something odd radio stations. Well, no, they're great radio stations. I'm seeing odd number, right, across the country. And
Yay.
So 50 odd and 3 good.
Yeah. So we want to say welcome, Wichita, and thank you for joining us for the After the Show podcast.
You know how my I guess second oldest son, Will, who's 25, is overseas.
Yes, Sam.
And it's all this clandestine. We can't say where he is.
Well, that's okay.
That's right. Although what's weird about this is you're able to track him on Life 360.
Yes, I am.
Sort of.
That is weird. No, I can't.
You have the address of where he is on your Life 360.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
where he is moving around.
Yeah, it'll tell him when he's leaving and going places.
Yeah, it's told me when he's gone to do stuff.
So somebody knows where he is.
And I'm not going to violate national security by giving you examples, but
Life 360
he has
does.
shown me,
Okay. Oh, I've seen
I will
pictures
tell you
too.
this. He saw the Avengers before we did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, right.
That's just a time difference thing.
Ooh.
Okay, so we have this app that lets everybody in the family communicate to stay
Right.
in touch. That's not just your basic texting or anything. It's supposedly protected and all that. And we put all, me on it as his parent, his mom, and grandparents are on it too, and even the younger kids, Maddie, Parker, and Jack, who are teenagers. And Parker's already gotten off of it because he said the only time anybody in this family uses it is when Will posts a picture where he is and everybody comments. So Parker went and deleted the app altogether.
Okay.
Whatever.
Wow.
But
Underlying problem there.
I think he's missing the point that was the whole reason,
Exactly.
right?
So,
And this is an encrypted app? That's
it's
why?
encrypted, yeah, supposedly. Jackson posted, he is 15, he posted some accomplishment in school the other day, a picture of it on there. And
Sure.
And he put under it, gang, gang. G-A-N-G, G-A-N-G.
Okay.
And instantly, for me, I'm going, okay, that must just be like, yeah, all right. Well, some of the other older folks on here, the grandparents, what does that mean? I don't understand what you're saying there.
Yeah.
And so
And you're one of
Sammy had to jump in and say, yeah, it's kind of like woot woot, like yeah,
Gang,
all
gang.
right. He was just, look what I got, this accomplishment. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah,
See,
you
I've
do
not
have-
heard that
Well,
either.
yeah, you do have a few seniors on this app, right?
Oh, yeah.
Some
And
great grandparents.
some great grandparents.
Right.
And then so Will picks it up and he starts running with it and throwing out all kinds of stuff. Like he
Slang.
threw out clapping you. Hey, we're sorry to be clapping you. And Bailey, what's that one?
That's like, I mean, if you get punched real hard or like you get beat up in a fight, you've been clapped.
Clapped.
Yeah,
Okay.
or it can be verbal, correct?
Well, like I've heard
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So
The
Will
girls,
starts
not me, but
doing all that, and instantly it goes quiet. It's like Will and Sammy's mom and
That's-
the grandparents are just like,
okay, don't want to learn it.
I don't know what this is. And okay, speaking of the Avengers thing, Will went to see it and he goes, I'm not going to give out any spoilers. And I was like, okay, everybody's like, great, that's good. So me being Mr. Haha, I type in here,
Mr. Haha.
did Aquaman die?
Completely
Aquaman,
different universe.
I shouldn't have to be explaining this.
Right.
It's a joke.
But then
for
it's
those
like
who know you.
my mom jumps in and says, oh, don't give away the secrets.
Yeah, you also need to learn not to joke with this group, Sam.
but-
you can't stop yourself from
They,
joking.
they
I
can't keep up
understand.
with me. I know.
But it's his mom. I mean, she should know Sam is this is what Sam does. He
There's a
throws lines
generational
at you.
thing. It's a generational thing. It's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I think
It
it
is.
is because the other grandma is the same way. She was totally, clueless about what was going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to clap your mom here, but I'm just saying.
Did you even use it
doesn't
right?
work. I don't think I used it right. Did I use it right, Bailey?
And there's so many ways to use that word. Like
Oh,
some
that
of
you
them
might
are-
be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Although
there are things
there,
I shouldn't
there
try.
are very inappropriate ways to use it as well. So you got to be
Oh.
careful.
Okay.
Okay.
Not interested in that then.
Yeah.
Once you're trying, if you don't understand it, my advice is don't try to use it. Truly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially if you don't have a young person to explain it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, give it a chance to go mainstream, and then you can start to.
We can all start gang gang.
But see, I mean, this is what I love about my dad. He's, excuse me, he's in his late 70s now, and I think my dad's one of the coolest dudes on the planet.
He is. He still
But
rides a Harley.
He does, but he's himself, and he does not try to. He's great in the conversation, and he's all good with it, but he's not going to try to adopt language that doesn't fit him. You know what I mean? So that he kind of puts himself in that weird.
And that's the
position.
definition of cool. I think
Yeah.
that's the definition of someone who's cool to remain yourself no matter what else is going around. If you're easily pulled into something else that you're really not, it's not you, you're not comfortable in your own skin. That's what cool is.
You shouldn't have to prove you're cool. You
Exactly.
you're just cool.
That's right. Like a leader doesn't have to say he's a leader. A king doesn't have to say I'm king.
And Murphy, as far as the language and the wording and the slang goes, I don't use it, but I want to know what it means.
Sure.
So that when they're doing it, I can
Curiosity.
respond in the King's English or the Queen's English and understand what they're saying.
Right.
But what's funny about that, your assumption is always going to be it's an insult or something. You know what I mean? When you don't know the words, like, uh-oh, you're worried it's got a negative connotation first, right? Not a positive connotation.
I guess.
I find it funny that every generation has that thing. I mean, because like my parents, the Woodstock generation, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
And there actually, I mean, words like groovy, you still hear that being used today.
Sure.
I mean, there are a lot of terms from the 60s that were, kind of, they've survived the test of time. And even if you don't necessarily know exactly what it means literally, you kind of know, okay, wait, groovy, positive, good thing. I guess cool can be a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But again, don't try to
Classics.
force it.
Right.
Here's an example. On the same app, while we were talking in this conversation with the gang and woot woot, Sammy and Will's mom, my first ex,
First ex-wife. Okay.
First of several.
Got her.
she typed swish swoosh, and everybody's
She
like,
did.
"What does that mean?" And she
What?
goes, "That's the sound of my eyeballs rolling at this conversation."
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's
she
cute.
made one up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's cute. Well, you know what? If something catches me and I like it, like I'll throw around the word extra because I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's right. I will not try to use any other slang. You know what I mean?
Well, you
extra
do.
works.
You say on the daily a lot.
That's not on the daily. Is not.
Well, it's not something that's
Slangy.
younger than,
I know, but
her
it's like that's
necessarily.
something we do daily. But you use
On
the
the daily.
Yeah.
I don't mean it to be slangy.
Oh.
Anyway, I will say this too. I think there's more than there used to be. You know, groovy
Oh,
and
yeah.
cool. That was fine for
Yeah.
decades, and there's something new every week. It seems.
I think what makes it more difficult for people who don't really care to be in the loop, but interact with that kind of thing. The internet is really just it's
problem.
connecting people who don't live near each other,
Right.
and there are so many people who have so many different like cultural influences on the way that they speak
Sure.
that it all gets piled into one
Right.
thing because everybody's conversating.
And that's why
with everybody.
swish, swoosh, or whatever. That's why you're like, oh,
Well,
too
yeah.
much
It's-
overload.
And when you're thinking about this group text being, no, it's not 4 generations. Is it 4 generations or 3?
It's a communication
it's
problem.
3 generations. I
Three.
mean,
It's
whatever
three.
it is, it's still 3 different generations. And so trying to do a group text that way with any sort of slang like that is immediately going to cause a, wait,
It's
what?
always going to
What did
be
you say?
entertainment
Right.
for you, at least, Sam.
I did when we first all got on this. When Will went overseas, I had to warn the Jackson and Parker and Maddie. It's like there are grandparents on here, so don't put in your typical
Right.
goofy comments. Remember, there are adults older than me on here, so respect everybody's conversation.
Nice.
Use your church filter.
Yeah. And to which I got gang.
Yeah.